Are your rental rejections keeping you up at night? Are you stressed about never getting that place that you want? Well, today we're going to talk about all that and more. Welcome back to the Jennifer Gale Real Estate Team YouTube channel. Like and subscribe, link in the description. When you're ready, we want you to make an appointment with Jenny G herself. Check out our new sign for the Brokerage on the corner of Dundas and Huron Street. It's huge. Don't want to miss it. Today we have a very, very special guest. The man, the myth, the legend, Warren Hamilton.
Hello.
He is like, you've probably seen him on a lot of the reels and stuff. He doesn't say much, but he does a lot. He is a property manager. He's done it all. He's got people into, I don't know. Hundreds. I was going to say thousands, might be thousands. Yeah. He's also kicked people out. Yeah. I don't think you want him knocking at your door because it probably means you've done something wrong. However, we're going to unpack a lot today on more the property manager who's looked after tenant aspect of all this. So I'm going to ask Warren to describe, I think, things like how to be a good tenant, how to help your application, how to make your landlord happy, and how to make your property manager happy, more important.
Absolutely.
Because Warren is one.
It helps. It helps.
So let's dive into the first question here, Warren. The Eagles.
Yes.
Look at he's bright. He just lights up.
Yes.
He's like, yeah.
Yes.
So he's an Eagles fan. I'm a Steelers fan. You know,
showdown every year.
Limited history. Lots of great history in the Steelers. Anyway, but we'll get into another video on that. But your dad actually is a Steelers fan.
He's a Steelers
I don't know why
fan.
you don't take after your dad.
I got a Steelers family for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're somebody that has been turned away, numerous times, and they maybe don't totally understand why, educate us on, I guess, the best way to make yourself a attractive tenant to somebody.
Personally, like I always say to people, like credit scores for sure are very important.
Yep.
But if you can show me that you pay rent on time, so you get those rent receipts, get a good relationship with your landlord. I mean, if you could help your neighbor out too, that's another thing. It's another story. But it does help, right, to be that tenant that's kind of being there for the greater good,
right,
the whole process, right? So very important to obviously pay your rent on time, right?
Okay.
And when people are forthcoming with me and they have all their information at once, they're prepared with their credit score, they have the same actual real story, right? That doesn't change once they ask you for the credit score later on, and they can explain their job history and where they're at, right? And build your credit would be great too, but if you can come in and actually show me, right, that you have all these things in place and you're not slow dripping me the information, you have your package ready.
Slow dripping me.
Well, I get sometimes people come, they slow drip the information, and then the stories start changing as we go.
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
And then there's a backstory to the actual original story because it's not the actual real story.
And
right?
now you're
presenting to me.
Your job, like if you're a property manager for a landlord, like an owner, you're kind of weeding through all that.
We do some pretty
crapola.
We do some good screening for sure, right? And I'll say honestly, 95% of the time, when the people come in, they have all their information, even if it's not as great as some of the other people's. It's a good sign going forward, and I can trust that there's going to be a proper communication, right? Because communication is very important, right? Because people do run into problems, things do happen, but if I know I can trust you, we can talk and we can work our way through, rather than trying to muscle each other, right? It's a really good sign going forward, coming out the gate.
Yeah.
And like I said, like paying your rent for sure, 100%, and showing that that's paid on time despite your credit score really helps.
So I've never really asked you this, but like you as a property manager working for various different owners of investment properties, are they ever double checking your recommendations, or are they just going like, Warren, whoever you say is good, we'll rent to them, we trust you? Or are they...
There's a big variety. Yeah.
Like, have you ever said, these guys are good.
Yes.
And they're like, no, they're not. I don't like
Absolutely,
them. And
absolutely.
you just have to say, okay, fair enough.
There's for sure some landlords out there. They want AAA credit score. They want enough money in the bank. Whereas I'm kind of like, they would probably just buy a house if they had that, right? So there is some like very high expectations for some. Most people do trust the process, but there's a lot of people when I'm working with new landlords, they want to actually see for themselves and kind of double check and background check that stuff too. So it helps if you can come give me all the information and the actual real story, whatever it is that you're going through. It's easier to work with somebody because as soon as we catch little lies in your story, it's a big red flag, right? And going forward, it's kind of hard to. It's very important that we have an open communication, right? Because things do happen to people. And like my job's not to muscle you through it, it's to work with you and the landlord to make sure that everybody's on the same page, going in the right direction, right? And we can get the rent paid, even if you're gonna be late, we don't recommend it, right? But if you're gonna be late, things do happen, right? I can pay you on this date and then you follow through on that.
Get out ahead of it.
That's right?
Yeah.
And so I get early signs that you're already, fibbing about some stuff. We'll say fibbing. Yeah, it would be nice, right? Yeah, slow dripping, fibbing, whatever, whatnot, right? It's a bad sign, right? Because usually, in my experience, there's more to come. Right?
Trust is eroding.
There's more to come, right? And so it immediately turns me off, and I'm not actually willing to go too much further with you. People that are they can tell you the honest truth, whatever, no matter how bad the situation is, I can work with those people, right? We can get through whatever tough times that they're going through, and we can work together and ultimately get in a place where landlord's happy, tenant's happy, I'm happy, and we move forward together.
Where do people first go wrong? When let's say somebody comes to you and they've got a good credit score, they got good jobs. Why do people slow drip? Or is there always there's a skeleton in the closet? They're not what's the...
So I mean, it's like you might lie a little bit about your job history, right? Which is a red flag too, right?
And do you look into their job history?
We do for sure. Like if it comes down to it, right?
You making calls?
You against somebody else, right? If I get a job letter from you and I know you've worked there for 4 months, right? Versus this guy who's worked there for like the same equity or whatever that you're making, and this guy's been there for 1.5 years, right? Or this guy said I've been there for 5 years and I'm a supervisor, right? But this guy is 4 months, he's just starting out, right? So those little things of it's being honest, right? It's hard to see this. Like I've been through cases, right, where I'm like, oh whatever, just a little lie, a little fib, and usually that turns out to be him like they gave me an early sign, man. I should have took it when I got it, right? So and I usually regret it. I'm like, you know what? I've seen that person before. I shouldn't have let him in here, and it kind of tells the whole story, right? So just in my experience, right? So I try not to ignore those things. So if you can come, like I said, more importantly, you want to have open communication with somebody too, right? So if I have a tenant in that and I'm starting to like muscle them around and beef them or whatever, right? We're started off on the wrong foot already, right? It's not going to go well, right?
What do you mean by that?
Like bully them and scare them or whatever, right? Or try to intimidate. No, I'm just there's been times when vice versa.
You're only doing that as a reaction, not as a
for sure
aggression.
Right? Well, I'm saying like from my perspective, coming in there, I don't want to be a guy that's intimidating you, right?
Right.
Because we can't really work together properly,
right?
If that's how the relationship starts off, right? And vice versa. So if I'm getting with a tenant and they're kind of like really pushy and buggy and trying to like flex on me and stuff like that too, we're probably not going to have a great relationship. We want a long-term tenant for over the years, right? So right away, I try to stay away from that stuff. But I also, on my part too, I don't want to bully people and be that guy that's intimidating people, because it's hard to communicate and just be civil and get to where we all ultimately want to be. Just have a happy place to live, nice, easy process with each other, right? So
I guess, so if you're like a brand new person in the game, like you're a young couple, so you got a girlfriend or a wife, you both just graduated university, you're just got your jobs, but you're making decent money. Like, are they at a disadvantage? Are you looking at them going like, there's not a lot of history here, guys. Like, what's...
So this is where...
25.
This is where the rapport and the communication comes in, right? So I've had great tenants that came in with not a lot of job history, just fresh out of school or whatever, whatnot, right? but they come with all their information. They're not trying to slow drip me. They're not trying to give me a different story, and then a different story comes along when it comes down to it, right? And then I have a good feeling about you, and it usually is a smooth process, right? So it's very important to have like open communication, and just don't lie, guys. You know.
Are you?
Just tell the truth.
It's probably a loaded question, but you get somebody that calls you up,
Yep.
Warren, I need to rent a place,
Yep.
and you meet with them. Are you ever like, as soon as you see them, like, here we go? I don't want to like put anybody on the spot,
Yeah.
but like, you know what I mean? Like you're
do.
just like, but how do you tackle that? Like, how do those people, however it projects them to be, I don't know, messy.
Yeah.
And you're just thinking like, all right, these guys
Confidence-
don't look it, but maybe
Yeah.
they're great. Like, how do you?
Confidence for sure is, it's important anywhere you go, I believe, right? So if you kind of show up squeamish a little bit, right, and you look like you might have just burned one or something too. Not that I'm against that or not, right?
Burn one. I love the lingo.
But it's just,
So
when
good.
when I feel like you're questioning yourself, then I'm also questioning you,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
I'm like, what's going on? I don't really, the vibe's not quite there, right? So I try to work with you and see if I can like get you comfortable and we can actually like talk and stuff.
Yeah, you'd be good at that.
See,
though. You'd
see what's going on,
You'd be
right?
a good icebreaker guy.
Yeah,
Like just kind of like
yeah.
chumming it. And,
Yeah, like my job is to basically try to be the negotiator in between, right?
Right.
So I just want to get down to kind of brass tacks, what's going on here. I don't want to intimidate you. I don't want to trick you. I don't want to bully you, right? I want to get along because I'm hoping that we have like a long-term relationship, right? And maybe you like build up your equity, and maybe we can sell them a house, right?
What?
Or move on to
Yeah.
stepping stones. They move from this place and they get a place that they better suits them or they're more attracted to,
Or
right?
if they had a kid or whatever.
Yeah, they have kids too. Yeah, for sure, right? So I've moved lots of different tenants from one place to another place as they've grown in their job history and moved up, say in the world and rankings or whatnot, right? So I try to be comfortable with you too, right? But it's tricky when you're not confident in yourself here, And I don't really have much confidence in you either.
Yeah.
So,
Now, if you're like, how many places do you look after?
so we had up to 89 properties at one point
89
in time.
properties.
Yeah,
So call it 89, 90.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the math because my phone's not here. But anyway, what's the percentage of those tenants that you would classify as like,
So I mean, I'd be honest with you. Like I think we had like a 90% rate that we we had some like great tenants, right?
pay on time?
Paid on time, right? We had like at one point in time, I think that like 2 years ago, I only had 3 tenants that kind of went awry, right? There were 2 of them were breakups. Another one was just all sorts of other crazy stuff that happens to people and stuff, whatever. Right? Bad decisions or whatever, right? Keeping the party going on for too long, I don't know. But I mean, like, we do heavy screening. Like I do heavy screening. I want to make sure. Another thing too. I want to make sure that you actually like the place too, right? So
Yep.
I don't like. It's important that you like the place too. That you're actually comfortable. You know what's going on at this property too. So there's no like tricks. Because if we start off on the wrong foot and you feel like I tricked you into getting this property and it's crap, right? And you don't like it. We're not going in the right direction already, right? So
Now,
but I do heavy screening. I do talk to my landlords and tell them that we have to practice patience going through the process because we want to make sure we have a nice relationship that's between all 3 of us, right? Which is very important.
a good tenant, obviously the best tenants, they pay their rent on time.
Love them. Yeah.
Like all the time, like clockwork.
Yeah.
I guess like a messy, dirty tenant doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad tenant. I mean, not optimum, but like if they're just not, they got some stuff around the yard and whatever, but they're quiet and they're a little messy, but they're quiet and they don't.
As long as the other tenants don't mind,
Great
also
Dane that's beating up the place.
As long as the other tenants don't mind being messy with them. Yeah.
Warren hates.
Yeah, not really. I'm not there yet, guys.
No, I got his trainer. I didn't see. I just say, don't do what I do.
I mean, like typically speaking, like I'm not gonna bug you and bother you, right? If your place is, I'm not gonna bother you really. But as soon as the other tenants are complaining, I just had a call today, just like dog feces, right? Just be respectful.
Like in the yard,
like everywhere.
like not on their property.
on their property, shared living space,
So what's
outdoor
the solution?
space.
What do you do?
Send them pictures first of
Yeah.
all, and like openly communicated how inappropriate it is for everybody involved here, right?
Does it
And,
bother you? Do you mind being the bad guy sometimes?
I don't mind. I don't mind telling the truth and just getting down to the bottom of things, the solutions, right?
Like you're just like pick up your dude. Like,
Yeah, for sure, yeah. But I did a little more formally in the letter and let them know. Let them know that we're gonna go follow through with the LTB process if you haven't cleaned this up within the 7 days that's required, right? And take pictures so they know that we know, right?
What?
And
Here's a good question. This is a good one.
yep.
What's a call you get that makes your heart come out of your mouth, or gives you the butterflies, gives you the like either I don't want to do this, or like here we go, I'm in for a war. Like what's the call mainly that you get that's like
Okay, so I just had one.
dreaded?
I had one just now, right? So tenants leaving, they said they're leaving early before the 2 months notice. And I like, cause if you're leaving early or whatever, whatnot, if you give me enough time and we can work through and you let the place be presentable, I get my showings booked, we work together to try to release you early, that's okay, right? They didn't want to pay the money that they already owed for rent. And then they said that there's cockroaches, there's rats, there's garbage, there's all these things.
And as you haven't seen it, they're just telling you this.
They're telling me all this stuff, so they shouldn't owe rent, right?
Okay.
And that they've made just requests and all these things. I'm like, listen, if you let me know ahead of time, we can deal with these issues for sure. But you can't tell me that all these things have been happening for that you've been living with rats for 6, 7 months, 8 months, or a year, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm supposed to just know that, right? And now you don't have to pay rent.
It's like somebody at a restaurant, they eat their whole plate and go, it's cold.
Terrible. Yeah.
I want a refund.
Yeah,
it's like your
disgusting.
plate's empty.
Yes, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Can't stand it, right? Yeah. So I just had that just recently here, right? And so they don't want to pay the money that they owed for rent, and they're badmouth me, say that the place is whatever. So that's kind of tricky. That
Now,
one too.
outside of, I don't even know if there's an answer to this. Outside of paying your rent on time, or I guess not paying your rent on time, what's things tenants can do to be good tenants? Stay in good books with your landlord.
Yep.
Have them off your case. Like
Yep.
everybody, I guess a perfect tenant is somebody you never hear from.
Absolutely.
And you never get complaints about.
100%.
Like they pay,
Yep.
their neighbors aren't all over you, whatever. So what are things that tenants can do to make them really good tenants?
All those things that you said for sure. Communication, 100%, right? If you can just have a civil communication about whatever's happening or going on, because things do happen and stuff too, right? So if you can just call me like a normal person, right? Tell me about your issue rather than act like I caused the issue, right?
You're the problem that
I
stove
just
caught
came
on
in there and
fire,
just messed up your plumbing or something, right? And on purpose, right? And anyways, just the communication, just be civil and kind of cordially, right? Paying on rent, and be honest with you, I don't promote this, but if you are going to be late on rent, if you call me ahead of time, right? And if you say, hey man, this and that happened or whatever, I got to get my tires and my whatever fixed on my car, whatever whatnot, right? I got whatever situation going on. I'm going to be a week late for rent. And then, you know what? I'm like, I can trust this person, right? Because they're not waiting for me to come at them. They're just going to try to work with me and be civil and have a solution already in place. And then they come through on the day that they say they're gonna actually be late or whatever, whatnot, and pay the rent. So those things go a long way.
Now, this might not be answerable as far as rules, whatever, I don't know, but is that rent going right to the landlord, or is it going to you first, then to the landlord? How's that?
We have an automated payment system. Now we don't have to collect rents because that'd be a whole full-time job right there.
If somebody's late,
Yeah.
are you communicating that with the landlord, or
Yep.
are you buffering that and just
Yeah, then I can let the landlord know,
Okay.
and then it makes them feel comfortable.
And if you say, I'm good with this, hey, this is what happened,
I say, thanks
the
for letting me
landlord's
know.
usually like,
Yeah,
okay,
I think thanks for letting me know, right? So we've had a bunch of people that have had lots of different situations. There's people that have been sick before, all sorts of stuff, right? Life happens, right? And they've openly communicated with me, and some of them took a little bit longer than you would like to pay back, but they paid on time. They were open communication. Any little changes happen, they let me know. I was able to tell the landlord ahead of time so he could plan for that too. And it was a very smooth, open process, right? And it's you feel like, we can kind of be civil when we have a relationship, right? Rather than just like someone to just treat me like you're some type of.
Now, out of these 89 places you're looking after, do any of the landlords take the first calls, or is that that's what your job
Just
is?
calling
Like,
me.
they don't want to do, like, the landlord's just like, I don't hear from this.
Yeah.
I'm a hands off. Just
For sure, yeah.
make sure I get paid.
Yeah, so my idea of how this is supposed to work, right, that I'm not calling the landlord over every little problem. I'm more sort of calling him after I have a solution for the problem, which they can respect because I don't need them to worry and micromanage every little thing too, and they're paying me to take care of everything.
Yep.
And not having to make all the decisions, right? So.
And there'd be multiple owners that own numerous of these.
For sure.
Like, it's not like there's 89 different people. It's
No, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, so I mean, like it always keeps coming back to communication, right?
Yeah.
Communication and stuff too, right? So, I mean, another way you could to boost yourself up to where you're at, I mean, maybe help out and clean up a little bit, right? With the landlord, if you're at somewhere else right now and you're trying to get a good reference, right? And try some of these things with the open communication, maybe help out your neighbor or something too, right? Instead of complaining and help pick up the garbage and stuff too. So I've had tenants too that actually try to help out the situation where other people were throwing their junk and not putting tags on their bags and all this type of stuff, and they were going out of their way to try to help out this better situation for everybody living there.
Yep.
And I love giving them great references, even if they're going to leave me, right?
Yeah.
Even though they're a good tenant, I 100% want to reward them, and I want to give them a good reference so they can go somewhere else to where they want to live, and they don't. Because I feel bad for some of these people too that they have to live amongst undesirable situations. So I have no problem trying to help them, reward them, and get them into a better place that's more suitable for them, right? Even though I would like to keep them, but I respect that they're actually trying to be the better person and do the right thing, right? So
what do you do when the exterior, let's say lawn, like how many times are how much is lawn mowing put into is that usually the tenant that's mowing the lawn? Like, I've always wondered about that.
So inherited tenants, we have to deal with cutting their grass or whatnot, right? Anybody that I put in, I'll be honest with you, I feel like you should have pride in cutting your own grass and stuff too, right? So I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be out there measuring your grass and saying, whatever, right? And calling the landscaping guy up, like, we're kind of half-inch over now here. We got to cut the grass, right? So
what happens if you do?
For me personally,
like if you got to get a landscaper over there to cut the grass, who's paying for that?
That would be the landlord. Yeah.
The landlord.
Yeah. So we put in the contracts for the tenants to cut the grass, and that's another thing they could say too, right? I took care of the property. That's kind of what I was saying before. You take care of the property, right? Because that says everything, right?
Yeah.
About the type of person that you're going to have there, right? That want to take care of their place like it's their own, and it says a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I would put that also on your reference card if you're looking to get in somewhere and stop getting rejected.
On your reference card, as far as explain that, like
maybe start
saying,
So I was like I said, go help out your landlord. Right,
you're
now,
building
right?
a case that you've looked after the property.
Yeah.
Cut the lawn, it looks great, never had any complaints, like that kind of stuff helps.
I put that on your reference, right?
Yeah.
I helped take care of Drew's property. I was cutting the grass for everybody. I would clean up the yard when other people would leave garbage and stuff like this too, right? I don't have the best credit score, but I pay my rent on time every time, right? I have open communication. I can work with somebody like that. I have worked with people like that. I have given people opportunities because they've done these things. And they worked out to be great, So I believe in the process of doing that more so than the person that maybe looks really good, but they're combative and they got a lot of different stories that don't match up to the original stories. And it goes a long way.
Do you know, I forget the question. I had a really good question.
I'm sorry, my fault.
Yeah, it was your fault.
I know.
I just rambling on. That was a good one. Rachel, what was it? I know.
It was about my hair.
It was like along the lines of like good tenants that are. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Is it hard to reject people that you deep down know they'll be good tenants, but either their credit score or something's red flagging with the owner.
Yep.
And you have to go back, and maybe it's like a really, situation where I don't know, they're not starting again, but like they're good people. You know they're good people.
Yep.
Is that hard? Is that hard to just say like, sorry?
It is hard. So I just had a couple of cases of this too. So typically speaking, when I have a newer landlord, they want to have a little bit more say on the property.
Yep.
So they kind of want to screen a little bit, right? Larger investors, they just leave it up to me because they understand that I've been doing this for a long time, and they trust the process here, and they got a lot of other things to do, right? So rather than micromanage. Typically speaking, first-time investors or people with just one property that aren't well versed in this stuff want to kind of have a say and have their hand on everything, right? And then the people that I like I said, long-term, usually after time, they just let me put people in. So yes, sometimes I have people I know they're going to be good. I have a feeling. I actually know them personally, right? Yeah. Or I know their landlord from before because we know a lot of people here, right? Too, and I know they would be good, and I have to reject them because the skittish first-time investor or whatnot wants to see A, B, and C, right, before they can get in. So that is a situation that happens for me.
That sucks.
Sometimes though I can and I have put them in a less desirable place for them. And I said, if you just stick here for a year, use it as a stepping stone. You can use me as a reference. I can show that you paid rent all on time, and I have moved those people to a more favorable property that they would like. Good. So I've done that multiple times with a bunch of people, right? And they've kind of just took their lumps and stuck it out for a bit, and we put them in like really nice places, right, to build them up and stuff. So,
how long have you been doing this? Did this predate Jenny G?
No, this is a Jenny G special. Jenny G special, man.
Lauren, this is now your gig, man.
Yeah, so they kind of threw me in the mix here.
So
I'm covering it up a little bit here.
You just had to like learn a bunch of stuff right on the fly.
So I'm a residential carpenter.
Yeah.
I'm a contractor. I do know a lot of people in Woodstock, right? So
you pretty much know everybody.
And I'm not easily intimidated by people, I guess you could say, right? So it's kind of threw me in the...
Like you actually have a good personality for the job.
For sure. Yeah.
You will not be pushed over, but you're a good dude.
For sure.
And you can talk to people and you can lose... Like, I remember you did was it N12, N11, what it was on...
Yeah.
I won't say that.
Yeah.
But I'm like the wimp guy. Like, I don't want to serve that. Like I was all scared. Like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, how'd that go? And you're like, oh, it was fine.
Yeah.
But you just have a way of kind of just softening up people.
Yeah.
But you're used to it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm ruining these people's lives. It's just not the case, but
I try to consider myself to be the icebreaker negotiator in between, right? And just help people with the options, what's going to best serve them. And I'm not easily like super intimidated and stuff like that too. So I don't think people are like, really gonna, I mean, they can if they want to, whatever, right? But I don't think they're
barking up the wrong tree.
I don't think they're really gonna, whatever. And I've been in some situations where I'm like, I'm gonna be okay. I'll be okay.
We don't need.
Yeah, I'll be okay.
We don't need to get into specifics, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think I'm okay. I think I'll be all right.
Like if something needs to be thrown, you'll throw.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. We'll do what we have to do. But she.
I love it.
So Jenny's.
I love that you're on my team.
Absolutely, yeah. Sure. I love you too, man. You know, it's Pittsburgh Steelers, but whatever, And so I kind of got thrown in the fire a little bit, right? So there's some tricky, delinquent properties, and there's some people that were trying to, be very intimidating and give Jenny and them the hard time.
It's like there's a new sheriff in town, boys.
So like, Jenny asked me if I could help out and go in there and help negotiate the process there. And turns out, I actually knew a couple of people. I don't know if that says right, but I play a lot of sports.
Yeah.
We've been around. We've been around the scene a little bit, like the bars and stuff like that too, right? And I was able to just kind of finesse the situation, right, and kind of bring people together here for an agreement. And everybody can move on their separate ways, whatever, whatnot. And it kind of started from there, right?
It's like the least shocking story in news I've ever heard. It's like, I smoothed it all out.
So, there's, everything was worked out pretty good. So I kind of got thrown, some other investors called Jenny and wanted some more services here, right? And so it was kind of just a natural fit as well as like I said, I was contracting at the time too.
you
So then
fix some
we
stuff
went in there.
up
So
and-
I gave him quotes as I gutted the place and redid it. And then I found some tenants that we thought would work out well. And it was actually a natural transition for us, right? So from the carpentry background, from me knowing some people and helping negotiate in the process there, whatever, whatnot, and it kind of just took off from there, right? So.
And you know the stuff now like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
So did you know anything about all the N's and the
No.
N11s and 12s and
No.
1s and 2s?
Thank God I had-
like you had to learn all that.
Yeah, so that's
Because you got like,
yeah.
I've asked you before and you're like, oh, yeah, you got this one, this date, and this,
Yeah.
and this date. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like I don't know that.
Yeah, so I mean that's the beautiful thing of having Jennifer Gale on the Jennifer Gale team, right? So Jenny can help me learn all the kind of process there too, and get me hooked up with some paralegals as well too, and then we kind of worked together from their past experience as well too, and so they kind of kept me up to date on the legalities of
Like,
things.
okay, so random thing that brought into my mind, like the LTB,
Yep.
Land and Tenant Board.
Yep.
Do you show up or does the owner have to show up?
Yeah,
Like, who
so
shows up to those?
So typically speaking, because I'm usually have to be a witness.
Okay.
So I show up, paralegal shows up, landlord usually has to show up at some point in time during the process. And I mean, that's hit or miss for everybody, right?
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason. There's not a lot of even precedents for law and stuff like that too, right? You need a good paralegal. You need someone that knows the process going beforehand, so that you
because
don't
a lot of the
make the
tenants are,
mistakes before you get in there, right?
they think they're educated, but like a lot of them are.
Yep.
They know the rules on their end.
Yeah.
And they'll go right to the edge
Yeah.
on those rules. And
They, truth be told, though, they like I do say frequently, like you should seek better counsel, right? Because it does help to like actually for them to hear from a paralegal rather than hear from the friend.
yeah,
Because well,
like
it's
the
the
friends
same.
that price the houses down the
It's
road.
the same
like,
thing, right?
Yeah, my
So-
uncle thinks this is worth 900.
Yeah, so
well,
they
actually, it's
tell me
550,
some
but
stuff,
whatever.
right? And I'm like, I'm not trying to trick you here, but you're going to want to seek some other counsel here because I've
Yeah.
actually been through this process before. I don't know who you're talking to, but you probably want to talk to a paralegal before you make any more moves this way because it's not actually going to go that way,
Yeah.
right? So I kind of know what I'm doing here. We've been through this process here, so not trying to trick you, but seek some better counsel here, you know?
There you go. We're going to wrap up on seek better counsel.
Okay.
I think you know, seek better counsel.
Yes.
Thanks, Warren.
No problem. My
That was
pleasure,
good.
Drew.
Yeah, it won't be the last time you're on it. He was
Okay.
very reluctant,
Yeah.
but it was happening. Jenny G said it's happening. It's actually Rachel's idea, but
They're
it's
kinda
been a
pushing-
long time coming.
They're
We
kind of
wanted you on
pushing.
here
Yeah,
for
it
a
wasn't
while,
so
yeah.
bad. It was
You're part of the team, man. You got to be on it.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.